This new episode of the 820 podcast finds you well and blessed on your journey. As I said before, these messages, what I'm learning of my purpose is to simply relay and relate to you what I have experienced, what I've had the pleasure of receiving and experiencing, and passing on to you what I have distilled or discerned as something called knowledge, something called understanding, and some minor portion of wisdom that I hope is helpful to you on your journey. Today's topic is called, Can You Read? Follow-up questions would be, do you read? This day and age, the ones that I've come across as far as friends and family, many of us choose to outsource that to what we're being told in 15 or 30-second snippets on the news channels or even the independent channel outlets. We don't tend to not reading, we're choosing to hearing and then ingesting because it's on TV or on the internet. But do you read? Do you listen? And can you do that with others? Meaning, can and do you read to others? Can and do you listen to others? And do you do that for listening to those potential original conversations that just might convert from just listening or hearing to reading and sharing? I know it's not that's a lost art about sitting down, putting down the technical apparatuses or phones or tablets or whatever and reading. You could read on a Kindle or even on your iPhone or anything, but I think it takes away the tactile interaction with the words you're reading for yourself. I know I'm just a minority voice out here about the value of reading and listening, but hopefully you'll bear with me in this conversation today. I don't mean that you read snippets of topic and summaries like the old time Cliff Notes. Those of you that are old enough to know those are the Cliff Notes were a good resource back in the day, but it really was not quite cheating, but did cheat the you of the opportunity to get into the world you're reading, get into the words you're reading by taking a summary from someone who gives you, here's the answers to that thing you should have read for yourself. So I don't mean that is not included in the reading part. I mean reading books and exchanging the sound of your voice with the ears of a captive audience and for the explicit objective for a new conversation and a now conversation. That's what I mean by reading. So just think about this. When was the last time you actually did that? Be honest with yourself. When you took the time to put away the phones and the tablets and the TVs and the internet stuff, you sat down with a book, kicked your feet up, had some glass of water or whatever you're drinking, and were actually indulging in the exercise of reading and getting some understanding of what you're reading. About maybe a couple of years ago, I created a book club in my professional capacity about 4 or 5 years ago as a book club. It was unofficial yet endorsed by the management that wanted us to do that to gain a different, wider perspective of not just in our cubicles, in our office, not on our stuff we do for work. Something broader that could bring us objectively further together and with new perspectives that we hadn't brought into the office before. So when I did that with the endorsement of management, the idea was to put together a list of books, read the books separately, and then convene the group of interested readers every month. There was nothing revolutionary about creating a book club. And that's not hard to do. So creating a book club is not that difficult. But what was hard was the commitment to read and digest and discuss a book from the wisdom we might share that might be outside of the normal realms of the business that we're in. But it was requested and I volunteered. Now, it might sound too old for you guys who are way younger than me out there, because really, this whole thing about reading and joining a book club is more of a solitary effort. It requires individuals to take the time to do the work. It should be fun work, but in this case, it's a request to take time out of your busy life, read something, and come with original questions or observations about this book that we're going to discuss. So this was as an aside, a personal observation the other day. I was driving uptown and just happened to be, I had this thought about this podcast, and then in front of me on the in the median, a guy was walking on a sidewalk and reading a book. I had to do a double take. It's like this guy either crossed the street from the sidewalk to the median, but either way, this person was actually reading a book, a physical book. But then, again, it's just an aside observation, but consider this as an advisory. We continue to lose those lost arts of communication, especially as we remain inundated with more technology, more gadgets, and more AI. This lost art for reading, communicating, and listening to the words we're reading to ourselves will diminish our respective resilience to observe and to communicate. This is admittedly, and not selfishly, but self-firstly, my plea to you to read. Take the time, 2 minutes, 1 minute, to crack open a book, read it, share what you felt, or that pissed you off, or that motivated you, or seemed to distract you from what you know is true for you, but you always can find something else. Or, hey, you can actually write a book, or a pamphlet, or a paper that expresses what you are feeling at this moment to to present and produce your message. I'm just saying, read, please. I know, I'm not sure how many of you out there are of a religious faith, but even in Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, he was told in one word, Iqra, Iqra. And he couldn't read, but he was told to do that. And you might have a contrary observation. Did he hear that? Did he actually do that or not? Let's say he did. And that led to the creation of the Quran. Iqra. That was his command. And I'm going to presume that he did that. But for you to not read, what would be your excuse? As always, stay present, stay current. It's still 8:20.